I quite often get into conversations about passwords and how strong your password should be and whether it should be a phrase or whether it should be upper, lowercase, certain amounts of numbers and letters. But I think for me, the password doesn't really give you the full story of how secure the access to your online accounts, your accounts, any system that you use should be. For me, there's another level or another layer which I would recommend. So if you have what's known as multi-factor authentication, or MFA, this can also be known as 2FA, two-factor authentication, and it's just an extra layer of security. And what does that really mean for you? Well, a little bit of inconvenience, unfortunately. It's going to send you a text message or send a 6-digit number to an app. If somebody was to get a hold of your details, your credentials for any of your online systems, then when they go to use a password, they're not going to get in. There's just no way, because they're going to get challenged for the 6-digit code, or you're going to receive a phone call. When we were looking at an HR system for our business, one of the stipulations that the system had to have was multi-factor authentication. Unfortunately, one of the best systems that we tried didn't offer multi-factor authentication, so we had to knock back using that system based on this. If you're going to be holding lots of precious data, you're going to want to protect that system very well, and multi-factor authentication goes a long way to do that. If you think about it in these terms, having a strong password is almost like leaving your car unlocked in the high street, but having the keys in the pocket. You know, there's an opportunity for a little bit of petty crime, but chances of your car getting stolen are fairly minimal. How would you not want to get your car stolen, or your details or your data stolen? Well, multi-factor authentication, or locking your car in the high street and walking away so the car is locked, that's pretty much the most basic level of security that you should have set. That's a standard that you should have set for you, your business, and how you operate. And I did touch on a little bit there of inconvenience, and then maybe some people might not have a mobile phone or want to use their personal mobile phone for receiving a code. You can actually elect to have a landline phone number. You can get a USB key that you plug into your computer that then identifies your fingerprint, or even just a simple tap of a button on there. But along with your password, it needs to work that way. And from that point of view, you can use the office phone number, but you can also get a whitelist for certain locations. So you could whitelist the office. So if anybody's within the office, they wouldn't be challenged for a 6-digit code. And that's another really good layer that you can add, and a little bit of a convenience within the inconvenience of multi-factor authentication and keeping your business cyber secure. You may find that there are certain systems where you've got multi-factor authentication for them all. You might have maybe 6 or 7 systems, and to make that a little bit more convenient, you can actually implement what's known as single sign-on. So for instance, we use Microsoft 365, and we can then integrate certain line of business applications that we use for our job that use the Microsoft 365 ID to log in. So that's known as single sign-on. So instead of me needing multi-factor authentication for 7 different applications, I've just got the multi-factor authentication for one, and every other product is protected by the single sign-on facility. It's really good. It's something that you need to sort of speak to your IT department or your managed service provider about, and they can definitely discuss it with you. And I can strongly recommend that to be used as part of a cybersecurity strategy for your business, with passwords, multi-factor authentication, and now you can do the single sign-on. So in summary, it's a no-brainer. You really do need to have multi-factor authentication. It's as obvious as locking your car. That's what I believe multi-factor authentication is like these days. You can get a 6-digit code texted to you. You can have an application on your mobile phone that gives you a 6-digit randomized code. You can have a USB key, a landline telephone number as well. The main thing to remember is not if you're going to get phished or your details compromised. It's when. And when that does happen, you want to be safe in the knowledge that you have multi-factor authentication. So the hacker with those details gets challenged for that 6-digit code, and you know that your data is going to be safe.